My name is Connie Svabo. I am Professor of STEM Education and Science Communication at the University of Southern Denmark. I am the Director of a center called FNUG that works with STEM Education Research and Science Communication. So we work with how you can frame science in new and engaging ways, and we work with learning environments. So how do you create learning environments? We do that here at the center hands-on. We do it by actually trying out things. And we did recently a seminar which is about curating and pedagogy. So how do you curate learning environments? How do you curate atmosphere for learning, for engagement? We work with that with inspiration from pedagogy and from curators. We exchange knowledge from these different disciplines, you could say, and from these different fields of application. And we do that both to become smarter, actually, about learning environments. What kinds of situations can you create at the university? The university in itself is a practice, so we target also the students that are here at the university. Some of the participants are PhD students, so they're learning things about actually making learning environments by trying these more exploratory practices. So that's one thing, but it's also a basic research where we develop some ideas, some concepts, some ways of doing things, and then that is also taken into other kinds of situations and contexts. So I always think of it as a kind of creative circuit where some of the things that we do in the center here are exploratory, you could say. They then circle out and are engaged in other kinds of practices. For example, we can do a pop-up exhibition here, bring in pedagogues, bring in teachers. They experience something and they take that with them back into their practice. Interaction is key in terms of teaching and the experiences of education, basically. We create formats that are not only about people, doing a monologue, which is what we typically or conventionally understand to happen at the university. We create formats that are engaging, that are hands-on, where people both can use their bodies to move around, also try out new kinds of situations, for example, dancing and exploring atmosphere through dance and through the kind of communication that various kinds of animals do. So actually dancing is a part of what we do once in a while. But also things like working with media. So what kinds of media can you use? What happens when you explore something through actually producing something yourself? So we believe very much in and have also the basis for knowing that it works, that if you create something, you as a learner are engaged in the actual making. That means that you understand what you're actually learning in a much better way. And so creating installations, creating posters, creating videos, making a dance, these are ways of being engaged and interacting in the theme that you work with. Because all of these art and design practices have something to offer to traditional education. So working with art and design and media and infusing that into science education is one of the key things that we work with at the center.